right? I mean, my mother was not that one. She was a young mama. She was a teenage mama. She liked to cuss. She cusses, all this stuff. But my mother has been married, she was married 3 times. And her last marriage was her most successful one. And what she told me was, when I got married, she said, don't cuss at your husband. She said, do your best to not cuss at your husband. I said, why not? And she said, you don't want him to cuss at you.
Right.
Right? And she said, so do your best to not, and try your best to stay a lady. Because you want him to see you as a lady. You're not trying to get him to see you as your homeboy or this or that, his homeboy, whatever. And so I try my best not to cuss now when you make me mad.
Cussing. Don't cuss at your husband. I think what she's trying to say, what her mom maybe didn't have the language for, maybe didn't have the vocabulary or experience to say, is like, don't disrespect your husband. Is what she's trying to say. When you get to the point of cursing somebody, you are the goal is to disrespect them and to degrade them. Mm-hmm. I don't care what it is. I don't like profanity. Never been a big fan of it. There was a point in my life where I would cuss up a storm, but I've never ever cursed my wife, ever. And she has never cursed me. And that means a lot to me, because that means that she respects me. I just don't think that it's a good deal for anyone to do. Name calling, that's another one. Name calling is a big one. I mean, cursing is kind of name calling, but a lot of people, that's how they get down. Yeah. That's how they get down. So she said mom was married 3 times. Mm-hmm. So,
and the 3rd one was the most successful one.
But what do you think happened between that 1st and that 3rd one? What do you think?
She probably matured, or she may have. I think she probably matured, and then she attracted a different type of guy, like a guy that's not gonna just put up with her crap. And as you get older, you realize certain things are.
You should. As you get older, you should. Some people never
realize
do.
That's true, but you should realize like what things are important, what really matters, and life is short. And so hopefully all of those things came into play, that she matured, therefore she was attracted to a different type of dude versus the guy that may have kind of given her what she wanted, or I don't know the situation, but I think hopefully she matured over time.
Yeah, I think she tried to give her daughter something that she didn't have. There's a lot of things that we see in the black community, or just with people in general, is that there are a lot of things that are generational, and that going off on each other, curse each other out, like I talk about this a lot, how I grew up. Like, I grew up differently than a lot of my friends. Here from a 2-parent household, very masculine, very present father, very nurturing, but also very disciplined. So I would go to my friends' houses and I would hear how their parents talk to each other. I'd be like, yo, did your mom just call your dad an MFer? Like just stuff like that. I would see these things, even like, family members. You go to their house, I'm like, what in the world? And my friends would be sitting there playing a Nintendo, like the old school Nintendo, because that's how old I am. The old school Nintendo. And I hear some parents arguing and fighting and fussing, and just watch how they interact with each other. It would just throw me off, because I wasn't raised that way. And I would always wonder, like, do they even like each other? And I remember thinking that, like, these people are married? Like, how do they live? Like, because I just didn't see that growing up.
And that's their normal.
Yeah. Now, you, on the opposite end, you grew up in a house where there was a lot of turmoil. So, what, like, for a child, what's the thought process when you hear your parents using defamatory language toward each other?
A lot of escapism. You go into your happy place until things kind of settle down. When you're in a chaotic environment, you look for ways to try to cope and hide. So I found myself hiding a lot. Not that I would literally be tucked in a closet, but even in my internal processes, I would be hiding. I would be kind of tucked away somewhere where I could tune things out. I used to spend a lot of time in my room. I have an overactive imagination, I always have. So I'd be on a stage singing into my hairbrush with my mirror, and I'm doing that while chaos was happening around me, and that's how I survived. So I found myself having to tuck away into my happy place. The problem with that is, if you don't mature and understand how to develop better coping mechanisms, you find escapism is a thing that you kind of bring along with you, and that kind of follows you into your adulthood.
That's what I'm about to ask you.
Yeah, that is early in our marriage, especially. You would ask me questions like, are you upset? Are you okay? What's bothering you? And you would ask me and I would say, I'm fine, and give you the stoic stonewall face, and you're like, obviously you're not fine. If you remember early on, it was difficult for me to tell you how I felt because I never felt safe to do that before. So it took me a while to be able to get comfortable to even express how I was feeling, because I was used to tucking those emotions away and putting on that face because that's what you did.
I think a lot of men struggle with that too. Like a lot of men that I've talked to, we've coached and just friends over the years and things like that, guys I served with in the military, that's a common theme. You know, they just kind of escape. You know, they go when they have their beer after work, or they go when they play ball with the boys. They go to the gym. They do all these different things, but it's not really.
Or the video games.
Or the video games. But it's not that anything is wrong with doing those things. It's the motive behind it. And a lot of times the motive behind it is just to escape.
Yeah.
It's just to escape because they don't know what else to do. And even when it comes down to men speaking harshly to their woman or to their wife, that's all they know.
Yeah.
And it becomes a habit on both sides of it. And in a weird kind of way, almost becomes like an aphrodisiac. Yeah. Like they get off on yelling at each other, screaming at each other, and they come back together, blow each other. He blow her back out and all that stuff, and then everything's good again. And then, but the cycle just over and over again. And they come see us, and we're like, okay, you got stuck in a bad cycle, really bad cycle. And what they're doing is subconsciously, they're actually creating the chaos so they can move into this different area.
Chaos loves chaos.
Yes, it's a really weird thing, man. Really, really strange thing. And I think that the more people understand, the more people become educated on what their triggers are in their past, that helps you to move forward. And so at the end, she was like, "Now, if I get mad." I don't think that I just don't. You know, this is me personally. I don't, do what you do. I don't think there's ever room in a marriage for profane language towards each other. Yeah. I don't like that. I never have. I just don't think there's any room for it. I don't like people cursing their kids out. I just don't think there's any room for it. That's
the most. Remember, as a former educator, that is the most heartbreaking thing to watch. We've coached couples, and we've got the guy teared up because of some of the words that the wife has spoken, or vice versa. The wife is in tears, bawling because of the words that has been said. And once you say those and release those words, you can't take them back. So, guys, be well to each other, be good to each other, talk well to each other, and don't do that. It's horrible treatment to someone that you love and supposed to respect and walk through this life with. So.
Yeah, that really is a form of abuse. I know people throw that word out there a lot, but I think really, harsh language is really a form of abuse toward one another. So, with that, that's enough said.